Thank you, Kieran. Hello? Is this on? Yes. I realized I've made a little bit of a mistake because when you actually send out a post about this event on LinkedIn, you end up with the front row, all ex people I've worked with. So I have to be very careful what credit I take for previous things in my role now. So you really are a front row of Pearson and Accenture. Did you plan this? You didn't? OK, that's fine. Right, if I click this, will it take me to the next slide? I think it will. First of all, can I introduce Tim from Keboola? You can come up, my lovely assistant. And what we're going to try and do today is, again, lots of caveats, experimental. We're going to attempt to do a live demo. But unlike Jordan, well, our processor might run for about 8 minutes, so we might need some of those jokes that you were going to put in the app for him. So we'll see what happens. So first of all, why am I here? So with my introduction, I've worked in a number of different places. I've spent 21 years pretty much as a digital transformation consultant, mainly in Accenture, focusing on visual analytics, which is about bringing design and user-centric design into the BI world. After that, I started Digimasters and started working with FTI Consulting in the private equity world. And then I became the global CDO for Pearson, which is, I think, the largest media education and publishing company in the world. And Digimasters, through my experience, we focus a lot on doing M&A diligence work with private equity. So we're the guys that go in and go, we rub our chin like a builder and go, I wouldn't have put that CRM system in. Or, ooh, Teradata, OK, maybe you should have gone Snowflake. Yep, shout out to Snowflake. And that's the type of digital diligence we do. We also do a lot of go-to-market strategy, which segues to what we're talking about today. And we're going to have a little bit of fun and wake everybody up. And I think I might be one of the last people to speak anyway. And what we're going to do is we're going to talk about where's my slide gone? Thank you. You're not presenting on the screens? There we go. We're going to talk about this QR code. And what this QR code does is takes you to our podcast page. And we're going to be showing you how we actually created one of our products, which is Digimasters Shorts. And that is a daily podcast. Now, I don't know how many of you know the effort that goes into producing, hopefully, good podcasts or good content. And if you're a small company like Digimasters, you'll have to hire content people, researchers, editors, people like that. And that costs a lot of money. I spend about 15 minutes a day on this product, and it is revenue generating. And the ability to produce something like Digimasters Shorts comes down to a lot of the things that we heard today, which is AI. But AI on its own doesn't really do very much unless you have that orchestration, operating system, and automation involved. So we've seen some demos. We've seen some things in R&D. This is productionized, but we are trying to link third-party RSS feeds, Keboola, OpenAI, into a content world. So we're going to try and see if it works. And the audience participation is this. You're going to help us create Friday's podcast, maybe? And what we're going to do is I need some shout-outs on some of the titles from an RSS feed of news about AI and tech you'd like to hear in the podcast, OK? You ready for this? Are you ready for this, Tim? Let's go over to this. So this is Feedly. It's one of the RSS feed tools aggregators we use. And what it's done is it's pulled together a lot of the latest headlines around AI and tech. Microsoft reinvents ERP into total enterprise. Does anybody want to find out more about that? Is that an interesting headline? No. You do know I'm between you and more drinks, so. The future is here. 5 ways AI is being used in cycling. Yes? Yes, okay, we'll do that one too. Thank you. Let's say, Pika Labs makes AI-generated characters talk with lip sync features. Lip sync, we got a lip sync vote over here. Great. Amazon refuses to pay screenwriters for the right to reboot Roadhouse. Not sure what that has to do with AI, but I do like Roadhouse.
Exactly.
So should we do that one? Yeah, okay. And if you're too young for Roadhouse, look it up. It's really good. Did you break it?
Yeah.
And this isn't even our bit. Okay, where are we up to? Tim Cook says Apple will break new ground in generative AI. You know, Tim Cook, he's so exciting to... It must be really, really groundbreaking. Kate's in here. Long public absent prompts divorce, plastic surgery rumors. I mean, yeah, that. If you say yes to this, you are really messing up my AI podcast. So please, is that a vote for Kate or not? Yeah, you have to. It's all mob rule around. What number are we up to? Are you counting? Because I've lost count. One more. We'll do 5 stories. Pavel, what did you say?
Klarna news that they stopped hiring because of AI automation.
Oh, Klarna. Sorry, it's your accent. Yeah. We'll just put. We need to move on. Okay. So, this is what the human in the loop does. This is what I do. This is part of the 15 minutes. I go through and go, ooh, interesting, interesting, interesting. But what happens next? So, let's go and have a look at a nice little picture. God, Tim, have you used PowerPoint before? Are you even, is this Google? There we go. Right. So, this is what's happening right now, and we'll take you to Keboola to prove this is happening. And also, we're proving the fact that you just pick the stories yourself. Now, all of the processors here are part of Keboola, and this is what everybody's meant by almost an operating system or the orchestration layer. So we've done the RSS feed. We are pulling the RSS feeds into Snowflake. Other data warehouse providers are available, but in this example, we are using Snowflake. And from there, well, the RSS feed's only giving us the link. It's not giving us the actual content. So this is where it can fail, because I wrote this Python with the help of ChatGPT. And it is going and scraping those websites. And if they have a website with a robot blocker on it, it doesn't work. So I've actually integrated this process into Teams, and it goes, boop, that didn't work, pick a different story. And all of that is run through Keboola. So after we've parsed it, we go to OpenAI. OpenAI is then saying, oh, well, we can't just nick somebody else's work. We've got to make it completely different. So it's reading it, summarizing it with really good chain prompts that we've developed over time and improved to get a really nice podcast talking about this as a journalist and summarizing it into about 7 sentences when it doesn't want to hallucinate. Fun fact, when we first developed this, the scraper didn't work. It still gave us a script. It just hallucinated everything from the title, or the slug, the bit in the top of the title. And it wasn't until somebody pointed out that that person is either not alive or didn't work for that company for a year that we realized, something isn't right here. So got to keep the human in the loop. We bring everything back to Snowflake, and then what we do is we generate social posts around it. We have to let people know about the episode. And then after that, we actually know some words that the AI doesn't like, especially acronyms it's never heard before. So I manually went through the script and started putting full stops, or periods for the Americans, between a lot of the letters. And then Keboola told me, you know, we can just automate that for you. I was like, oh, that's very handy. So that went in there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to stop the demo around here when the script comes back to me for approval to make sure it makes sense. Scrapers are an art. Half the time they scrape the advert on the page instead of the actual text you want. So you have to read it. The final part that we're not showing you today is when me and my lovely co-host, Carly Wilson, decide to actually record it, except we don't. We've cloned our voices, and the AI reads the podcast for us, and then we go to a publishing site like Buzzsprout in this example, and that disseminates it to the world. And then you guys go and click on the link and get to listen to a 6-minute episode every single day, and then sound really smart to your colleagues and friends when you talk about the Princess of Wales ailments. So let's go and see. Are we ready, Tim? Can we see where a Keboola is actually up to? This is the bit where you can ask questions, or I will start applying this to other business cases and where you can use this technology. So where are we in that cycle? We've done the parsing. It says success. We are up to updating, putting it back into Snowflake, and article script creation. So this is going to ChatGPT. This is where it's going to take the raw content, turn it into something really cool that you want to listen to every single day, 6 a.m. published. And then it's going to go and say, I'm going to create a LinkedIn post about it and pull it all together. So this is probably the slowest part of it because it's doing the most things with OpenAI. And I think we're using ChatGPT 4.11.06 for this. I've tried it with 3.5. 4 is a lot better. Where are we up to now? We're consolidating it together. So if you think about it, we've got these 5 individual stories, but you have to create an episode. And you don't want to create a title of what the episode's going to be until you bring it all together. So when it gets down to here, we will be generating the actual title and a short description, all that SEO goodness, so that people can search for it. And when you go to your Apple or Spotify or even Google, or even who uses Amazon for podcasts? Anyone? No, I didn't think so. It actually comes together. We update the data warehouse, and what you'll see is all those updates to the data warehouse. That's overkill for what we're doing with a podcast. But Keboola isn't designed to make little podcasts. It's designed for enterprise. So what we're seeing here is that governance and audit and reconciliation. So every step of the way, we know what's going on. And when it breaks, when, not if, not Keboola, my coding, we can see exactly what's going wrong. So we are almost up to content creation, podcast titles. So it's still going through OpenAI. Come on, OpenAI. But what I'd like you to think of when you go away from this process isn't, ooh, I can go and make a podcast because I don't need the competition. It is, wow, this architecture would be very, very useful if I actually just connected it to Google Analytics or Fathom or Adobe and brought all that information together. And I could be creating summary reports or even new product descriptions and A/B testing and be all automated using exactly the same architecture. So that's what I'd like you to take away from this is, yes, Keboola is great at bringing data together, but it's got all these components. Yes, you can do something like create a podcast, but if you're technical as well, you can create your own components. Or you can borrow what other people have done. And all of this is about creating not just content, but insight. And when you get that insight, what are you supposed to do with insight? Yeah, but once you've got it, activate it, take actions, exactly. So you've got to bring that lazy human back in to do something. Or can you ask Keboola to go and do it for you? And I'm the lazy human in this aspect. So Keboola then pushes it to the API, gets it all read out for me, and then obviously goes out onto the internet. And then later on can detect that the RSS feed of my podcast has gone out at 6 a.m. and go, maybe we should post the social post. Maybe we should post the LinkedIn. And I'm not out of bed by the time that post has gone out. And hopefully, OpenAI has done its job and not put quotes around everything and made it obvious that it's all generated by AI. Often than not, it does stick the word title in front of a title, and I have no idea how to stop it doing that. So any advice, please do come and give it to me. How are we doing on time? Oh, we're fine. And how are we doing? What content, where are we up to?
Content validation.
Remind me what content validation means again? I don't speak Czech.
To make sure that you don't make bad words?
Oh, yes, thank you. That's the lookup side of things. So we're just making sure that everything comes together. So are there any questions? Because, oh,
For me, it's a trust thing. How do you trust this to know that it's going to go out accurate?
oh, so are you saying that you think I'm actually lying about the human in the loop and I'm just too lazy and I just hope that the podcast makes sense?
Oh, I mean, this is like game changing, but I would have a real trust issue. I'd need to check it before it went out.
So,
Just let it go out there, and there could be anything in there.
yeah, so I do listen to the podcast before it goes out. If it's a 6-minute episode, I listen to it on 2 speed, so it takes 3 minutes, and that's within that 15 minutes. I do choose which AI voice goes in which paragraph. So I do Adam and Carly, Adam and Carly. Or sometimes I think, I'm bored of hearing my voice, so Carly, your voice. Yeah, you're getting bored of my voice already?
No, you're going to assign me the Kate.
Oh, you'll get the Kate story, yes. So I do get to do that. And because it's AI and I'm a chief data officer.
This because you have a personality that comes across quite strongly.
Oh,
And so I would be worried that AI.
yeah, you are right. It's stoned, lazy Adam is the AI. I am chilled. I haven't had a beer. I'm not trying not to do my toilet dance at all. You know, it is very. I think somebody said it's very calming, Adam, when they've listened to it. But the trust is, I have vertical industry experience and horizontal experience in AI. I do know about these stories. If somebody asked me to do a podcast on, I don't know, trying to think of something that won't get me into trouble. Microbiology, yeah, so it was a great podcast example. Microbiology, I would know that it was handling the English words well, but that's it. Is it making it up? Is it hallucinating? I couldn't do it. So there are limitations there. And that's when you would need to bring that vertical expert in. But yes, AI, I'd like to think I know. I can spell AI, so that makes me an expert in it. Oh, everything is, I'm very colorblind. Is that green? Yeah, everything is green. So Keboola, it's a techie thing. It doesn't produce anything pretty. Well, actually, it produces this app for me. And what we've got here is the overall title. And obviously, I've programmed it to basically list everything in there because SEO, SEO, SEO. Search engine optimization for the fluffy people in the room. And then podcast description. So this is the short description of what the podcast is about, and that goes under. So in your podcast app, when you've got that text, it's generated it all for me. This is the LinkedIn post that's going to go out. It's put lots of little paragraphs, because that's what you're supposed to do. It's got emojis on it, and that's all ready to go. And then I review quickly the text. I can see where it's come from, the original title, and if I click on this, well, Tim, if you click on the original drop-down, just go to drop-down, we can see the text that is generated. So I get to quickly review it before it goes any further in the process. So this is part of the human in the loop, and that's my 15 minutes. Any other questions? I've got 1 minute. Oh, Tia?
Oh, yeah, I've got one for you.
Oh, dear.
We've touched upon making sure that it's factual. How are you making sure that it's not so factual that it's plagiarism? Is that human in the loop, or are you using some kind of AI tool?
Tia says, am I nicking all this, and am I breaching copyright, if I'm paraphrasing it? It's a matter of opinion. We've heard a lot about regulation today. Would you say that when I'm creating original text, summarizing stuff in the public sphere from an RSS feed, like Reuters and stuff like that, is this a breach of copyright? I've got a shake of the head no. Hands up if you think it is a breach. The minority. Okay, just to check the rest of you are awake, who thinks it isn't a breach? Okay, so at the moment, until the regulation comes out and actually tells me I can't do this, I'm going to do it. But I did it because I'm a nerd and I love to experiment these things. And as a public speaker, I'm with a lot of different CDOs and AI people, and I go to them, how many of you have actually built a Gen AI app? And I don't mean just gone to ChatGPT and typed into it. I've actually built something, and it's revenue generating. No, well, I don't like being a hypocrite. So I wanted to go out and do it. What was that? Heckling from the back?
No, the second part, this revenue generating, was the killer of the question.
Yes, exactly. So that is Digimasters Shorts, and this is obviously part of how we do it. But I thought it might be a bit of a fun way to demonstrate a tiny little bit of what Keboola can do. Any other questions? Oh, I'm already out of time, so no more questions. But thank you. Thank you.